Hi guys, thanks for joining me on Making with Marilyn. On today's video, I want to share with you something that was shared with me a while back, and I'm so excited about this because it means that I can get a lot more materials for a much better price. And the material I'm talking about today is cork. Sometimes people call it cork fabric, some places it's called cork leather, but what I'm talking about is where the front of it is a beautiful cork and the back of it is some type of material they've backed it with. So I have two samples here. This cork is something that I got from Springfield Leather, and I love, love, love Springfield Leather Company. But you can see on the back, let me get that really close, it is a very smooth finish. And so it makes very nice cuts. There's not a lot of fibers or fuzzy things sticking out. Now, somebody told me about cork fabric that you could get at Hobby Lobby. And I'll show you on my computer screen. Hopefully this isn't too glaring. This is what I'm talking about. This is at Hobby Lobby. And if you buy it in the store, it's in the fabric section, but it's in the part of the fabric section where they have all the upholstery fabrics. So the really long rolls of fabric. And they're always on sale. Hobby Lobby always has them, I think at 40% off. And so you could get an entire yard of fabric, of this cork fabric, for what it's showing online right now is $16.19. So I went in and I think I got 2/3 of a yard. I don't think I got an entire yard. I brought it home, super excited, and I used it to cut out some earrings. And let me show you. The back of this fabric has a lot more fibers, and so I wasn't excited about that. You can see from the front, you see some fibers sticking out. Now, it's not terrible. Let me see if I can show you that better. Okay, hopefully you can see some little fibers sticking out here. And this has some gold flecks in it, which is, they're really pretty. But I wanted to figure out a way to make this cork a little more usable with my Cricut so that I could use it to make earrings. So what I did is I have this fabric stiffener, and let me tell you, this is I just named it fabric stiffener because that's what it does. It's not anything I purchased, but what I did is I got some glue, and at the Dollar Tree you get 2 containers of this glue for $1. And they're 4 ounce, so they're pretty big. And I mix it 1 to 1. And so I put a full bottle of glue in my jar, and then I fill my bottle with water, and I put it in the jar, and then I just shake it up like crazy. Now mine's getting pretty low, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And what I'm going to do with this fabric stiffener is I am going to paint it onto the back side of my cork fabric. Now, before I take your time doing this, let me show you. This is the result of what happened when I painted the back side of this with the stiffener. So you can see that this piece that I've already treated was cut out of this piece of fabric. And then I cut out a little piece and I tried it on my Cricut Maker, and it turned out beautifully. It was perfect. So let me show you. So this is the fabric before it's treated, and look how flimsy that is. It's just very, very flimsy. It's very nice fabric, but for earrings, it's just very flimsy. Now this is the piece that I treated, and look at that. I can hold it and it doesn't even fold down. And the back of it, you still have the same fabric on the back of it, but when you add this fabric stiffener, it just makes it so that the edges are clean when you cut it. Okay, so let's get back to the fabric stiffener. I'm just going to put this entire bottle in. Now I'm going to fill this up with water. Now by using the glue bottle, we know that we have a 1-to-1 mixture and I don't get anything else dirty. So I just dump that in, put the lid on it, and then just give it a good shake. And that's it. That's all it takes. I'm going to cut off a small piece just so that you can see how I applied the fabric stiffener. I'm just putting this craft paper under it to keep my table from getting all messy. Okay, so I've used this and I just rinse it out afterwards. It's the same brush I used last time I applied it, and it's just a cheap foam brush. So it's really this easy. Just dip it in. And work it into the back of your fabric. Now you can see when it really starts to absorb down into it because it changes a much darker color. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And so the piece that I did was covered twice with the fabric stiffener. I did the first coat and then I let it dry for about an hour, and then I came back and did a second coat, and then I let it dry. I didn't want to use it on my Cricut maker until it was extremely dry, so I just waited until the next day. The very first time that I did this, I put 3 layers on, and that actually got to be a little bit stiff and overkill. So now I just do 2 layers. Now let's go ahead and see how well this cuts. I'm going to place my fabric pretty side down, and you might notice that this is a purple mat, so it is a strong grip mat, but it has really lost a lot of its stickiness, and so I've moved it to my standard grip mat pile, and I go ahead and put standard on there so that I don't forget. Usually when I'm cutting cork, it's cork that I've got at Springfield Leather Company, and I use the faux leather paper thin setting. But I have found on this, once you treat it with a couple of layers of the fabric stiffener that I made, you need something a little bit stronger. And so when I use this material, I just browse all materials, I type in leather, and then I use the setting that's called shimmer leather. It gives a little bit more force than what the faux leather paper thin does. So I've selected that and it's ready for me to load my material. Okay, so let's see what we get. And that peeled up just beautifully. The other thing is, I want you to see the back side of it before I take it off this. There are no frays around this at all. It's cut very nicely. So I'll go ahead and bend my mat so I can pull that off without using my fingernails. And again, I'm going to get this really close to the camera so you can see that cut. Hopefully the lighting's okay. That cut is beautiful. There is nothing that I need to do to this. I don't need to clean it up whatsoever. It's beautiful. Okay, now I want to compare that to cutting the cork fabric that hasn't been treated. Okay, so we'll pull this up. Now it still cuts nicely, but let me show you that. If I turn it sideways, you can see those edges are not nearly as nicely cut as the ones that I treated with the fabric stiffener that I made from glue and water. Let me see what they look like from the front side. Okay, here's some cardstock, so I'll pull those up close to the camera, and you can still see that they're just not nearly as nice. They have a lot of little imperfections. The other thing is they're slightly curled up. And they're not so bad as far as flimsiness, but look at these. Those will stay put. Those aren't moving. So if I compare the two cuts, it's hard to tell from your angle, but these lay flat, these curl up. These have a lot of frays on the side, and these are just super smooth. So if you're interested in experimenting with cork fabric, head to your Hobby Lobby, get some. They will cut fabric in really small increments. So even though I spent over $10 for 2/3 of a yard, it is super, super wide. Let me look online and see how wide that is. So I'm looking online again, and the cork fabric from Hobby Lobby is 53 inches wide. So you're getting over 4 feet wide. So if you bought 4 feet wide by just 1 linear foot, you're going to have 4 square feet, which is going to make a ton of earrings, and it's going to barely be over $5. So I highly recommend this product if you go the extra step, mix up some fabric stiffener, apply 2 coats of that, and then you're good to go. Now, if you find anything in this video helpful or inspiring, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them in the comments section. I truly appreciate the people. There were a couple of people that told me about this cork fabric at Hobby Lobby, and I truly appreciate that. Any suggestions you can give me, I definitely value. If you'd like to see what I'll be working on in the future, hit the subscribe button. And then if you want YouTube to notify you when I upload new content, click the bell. Thanks for joining me. I'm Marilyn. Bye-bye.